I got my first remote job paying in USD at 20 years old, and this is how I got it. I'm going to be showing you how I got it on Twitter with just a simple message, and I'm going to be showing you receipts and everything you can do to get a job from social media, Twitter most especially. So I'm going to tell you how it started. So I sent a message to someone on July 12th, 2020. I was a clueless newbie, just confident, because I was really confident even if I didn't know a lot. I was just a newbie, confident, clueless writer. But I had one ingredient, and guess what that ingredient is? I was desperate. Guys, I was broke. I had no money in my account. I was broke and I needed to survive. It was the pandemic and people were getting into remote jobs. People were talking about learning a skill and all of that. But I did not have the time to learn a skill because I was broke, as I said. And so one thing I was already good at was writing. And I used to write fiction, I used to write short stories, I used to write poems and all of that. But then I never really got money from, I got money from that, but I didn't get sustainable income from that, because a lot of times when I submitted to literary journals, it took a while before they would accept my story and pay me for the story and all of that. So I needed something sustainable. So I was desperate, and desperation is one thing you need to get a job, especially when you're starting out. So I really needed a job, really, and I was ready to take anything, any amount, anything from anybody. And one thing I did was I was searching for a job everywhere. So one thing you must do is don't limit your search to one platform. Search everywhere. LinkedIn, Indeed, job boards, social media, every single place. And so one day I was scrolling on Twitter, just doom scrolling, and I just saw someone, I think she posted something, I can't remember what now, but then I just saw her, and it also goes with intuition and, should I say, the leading of God, really. And so I just said, oh, let me just reach out to this person. And mind you, she was not the first person I reached out to, in case you feel like, oh, I just had one leading to reach out to her. No, I'd reached out to other people on Instagram, on Twitter, everywhere. I'd reached out to a couple of people, like a lot of people. Then I wasn't really exposed to the concept of working for clients outside Nigeria. So I used to just reach out to Nigerians that had like writing agencies and all of that, which were not so many and were not paying so much, because I think at the time I was doing this job for a Nigerian client who had an agency. So I was writing for her and she used to pay me I think 2 naira or so per word. So I wanted more, and I was desperate, like I said. So I saw this person on Twitter and she just posted something, and I went to her page. I looked at her page. She had her website linked to her Twitter page. So I looked at her website and I was like, oh, I'm going to pitch to this person. I didn't even know it was pitching. I just said I was going to send her a message. Like I said, I was confident, even if I was a newbie writer. So no matter how new you think you are, you've never done anything before in content writing, in whatever skill you've learned, just be confident, really. There's some people that need the little that you know. There's some people that need how little it is, the little skill that you think is very little to be paid for. People need it. So I reached out to her, and the message I sent to her, I'm going to just read it exactly what it is. So it was, hello, I was wondering if you were hiring writers for XXX, that's the brand. I would love to work for you if you were. And then I sent it, and I didn't think anything of it, which is also another thing. Don't over expect results from anything you're doing, which is why I said diversify your efforts, apply on different platforms. So I just reached out to her, and she's like, oh, hi, I really love your confidence. That's something I get a lot. I send very confident pitches, and maybe during the course of watching my videos, you see my pitch templates and the kind of pitches I send to clients. I don't dilly-dally. I go straight to the point. And so she was like, oh, I would really love to work for you. What have you done? And imagine, I was applying for a content role, but I sent out the stories that I had written. I was like, oh, I'm a creative writer, but I want to get into content writing. And please, these are the stories that I've written. So I sent them to her, and she was like, oh my God, you're so creative. You write so good. And you know something about writing? A lot of times, people that do very well in fiction writing, in writing stories, creative writing generally, do very well in content writing. All they need to do is learn. And she took a chance on me, really. I'm going to show you like all the things that we talked about, or the things I was saying. I mean, she asked me to Okay, she asked me what I charge for my work. Oh my god, guys, you will not you will not guess what I said. I said 4 naira per word. Guys, at this point, this was the highest I'd ever charged anybody, and that's what I told her. And just like, oh, okay. At that point I didn't know it was such a ridiculous rate, but I told her that. And then I asked her what word count, and we were just talking and talking and talking. And I was like, she asked me, do I do B2B SaaS? I was like, I don't know what is B2B SaaS. What is B2B SaaS? And she started explaining to me and all of that. And you know, we just kept talking and talking and talking. And at the end of the day, basically, we had an interview later the next month, and she hired me for a full-time remote role. And what happened? It just started with me reaching out, being confident enough to reach out on Twitter. Now, what were the silent things I did? Really, number one, my Twitter page was not even optimized per se. It was just a normal Twitter page. I followed a lot more people that I followed a lot more people that followed me. A lot more people than the people that followed me, something like that. So my page was not even so great, really. So what made me stand out? Number one, it was the confidence of my page. A lot of times, people don't want to smell your desperation. They don't want to realize that you're desperate. They just want you to be confident. Number two, I had work to show, even if I didn't have the exact kind of work she needed. I had work to show. I didn't say, oh, I've never done anything, but I believe I'm good. I mean, it happens. People say that. I mean, I think I put out this job application and someone sent an application to me, and the person was like, oh, I don't have a portfolio, but I know that I can do very well. I'm like, I don't understand. Even if you don't have a portfolio, at least you need to have like 1 or 2 works that you have done before that you can show for what you can do, right? So the other thing was I had samples to show for what I could do. Another thing was that I was insistent, because I mean, subsequently she asked me why I reached out to her, why me? And I was like, oh, I looked at your page and I saw that you needed this and that and that and that. So I was insistent. I kept following up and following up. I think when I eventually got the job, which is another story I won't tell for in another video. Oh my god, when I eventually got the job was like a month later, but I just kept following up with her. I did paid samples. I just kept following up till when we had an interview and I got the full-time role, right? So the third thing is that I was insistent. And then the next thing is that I knew what she needed, right? I had done my research. So I did not just reach out to her on Twitter without checking out. I checked her page. I checked her brand. I mean, in the first email, in the first pitch I sent to her, I said, hello, this. I called her name, so it was very personalized. I said, I was wondering if you were hiring writers for so brand. So I called her brand name, meaning that, and it wasn't on her page, really. I found it by checking her up, by researching about her page, researching about her brand and things that she used to do, right? And I realized that she actually needed writers, because there's some people that don't need writers. So when you pitch your services to them, they know you didn't do your homework. So I researched and I made sure that I found out the things that she needed, right? The next thing was that my Twitter page was not locked. You know, just some people that you cannot send messages to. I don't know how that happens, but my Twitter page was open. It was not private. It was open, so she could see the kind of person I am, and my bio was great, even if I didn't have anything on the Twitter page. So that's that. And then I kept my pitch short. Most times people don't want to read a long essay about what you do. I'm a this, I have 5 years experience, I do this and do that. No, they just want you to get straight to the point. They want you to tell them what you want, and they want you to sound confident. So I did my homework. I showed her, oh, this is what I think you need this, I need that, I need that. I don't know how to get you to where you want to be, but I think I can get there. And I was open to learning, really. I was very, very open to learning. I told her that I wanted to learn and grow with her brand, and I was open to her teaching me and to me learning. And I promise you, that was one of the best clients I've ever had, because it was from that client that my mind was opened to the world of B2B SaaS, to the world of writing, to the world of content marketing, to remote work as a whole, really. And it just started with one message on Twitter. So anything else? And the last thing I'm going to say is be conversational, be friendly. A lot of times people like to work with people they love, talking with people they like, right? Don't be an uptight fellow. On social media, people don't like you to be uptight, right? They don't like you to be, oh, hello ma, my name is this. No, a little bit of humor, a little bit of emojis, a little bit of conversational tone, a little bit of casual, normal, regular tone makes them feel like you're not selling to them. It makes them feel at home. It makes them feel like they like you. They like talking to you. Because one of the things that she told me when we had the interview and everything was that she really liked talking to me, and so she wanted to hire me. So make people like you, and all you have to do is just care about them, be conversational, talk to them like you would talk to your friend, right? And just don't give off that, oh, I'm from a third world country and I'm not good enough mindset. No, you're good enough. You can compete on a global audience, on a global platform rather, and so put yourself out there. The highest thing people say is, I'm sorry, I'm not hiring writers. And nobody's going to kill you, nobody's going to come to your house and do anything to you. But what if they say yes? What if they say yes, and what if you get a job just like I did? Now, I know there's also the part of, oh, you were lucky, but then it wasn't just about luck. Thinking about it now in retrospect, there were a lot of things that I would have done better. But this is really how I got a job at 20 with no experience, not an optimized Twitter profile, and with little to no idea of what I was doing. Just a bag full of confidence, creative writing, and cluelessness. So yes, that's literally how it happened. So you can get a job on Twitter, and I would keep talking about how you can get a job on different platforms that I've used, tried and tested, and I'm going to be showing you receipts just as I've done, giving you a step-by-step guide and helping you to get a job on any platform you choose to get a job on. Thank you.